What is up, Ravens fans? Welcome back to One-on-One at the Castle. I am joined today by Tyus Bowser, who's going to be taking your questions, so make sure to comment them below. Tyus, you've had an incredible journey back to get on the field this year after tearing your Achilles just at the end of last season. Take me through that journey. What was that like for you to kind of work your way back, and so quickly?
It was definitely a process because that was my first real injury that I've ever had to deal with. But it was such a good time for me because I ain't never really had an actual off season to kind of get away from football because football is a 365 type deal. So I was able to kind of work on myself personally, try to start a few things that I've always thought about starting, and really I just bought a house, so I finally got the chance to fix the house up, get it exactly how I wanted. So outside of football, it was a great time for me, but just rehab-wise, it was definitely different. It was tough, but I understood that, in order to get back to where you was, you got to put in that work and you got to sacrifice. So that's what I did, just day in, day out, trying to get myself back.
I love that you said that football is 365 because I feel like personally that's one of the questions I get the most. Like, oh, well, what do you do in the off season when there's no games? And people don't realize that even for you guys, it really is a year-round job.
Yeah, definitely, man. Because, you got to think you're coming back in probably around April to get yourself back in football mode. So you could really only have maybe a month, depending on where you finish at in the season, to really just kind of just get away and, take a breath and enjoy life. But after that, you kind of got to work out. You got to stay in shape because once you get out of shape, man, it's tough. And that's coming off an injury and trying to work myself back. So, like I said, it's a 365 thing, and you just got to stay on top of it each and every day.
And it's not like your job is a normal 9 to 5 where you can take vacation during the year. So that's really your only time to do kind of those personal things.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I read that you're interested in off the field, since we're talking about that, is architecture, which I didn't know that you're interested in going back and getting your master's in architecture. Where did that interest come from?
Really, when I was young, my mom, she worked at Train, an air conditioner company, and they used to always have like large square cardboard boxes, and she'll cut them out, or they'll cut them out. It's like pretty much waste. And she'll always bring them home, and it's just something that I always used to draw on whenever I'm back at home just by myself chilling. I'll just be sketching out different stadiums, different arenas, basketball courts, different things like that. So that's where the inspiration came from. And then I took a few programs in middle school as well to kind of work on house designs, interior design. So me going into college, that's kind of where I want to start it at. But of course with football, that always takes over as number one. So I never really had the opportunity because of the time frame, but that's something that I definitely want to do moving forward.
So was that helpful this off season when you were kind of fixing up your house?
Yeah, it definitely was because I've always, worked hard to try to get my own home and get it exactly how I want, because I always watch, HGTV and see the different things that they set up, different rooms, different styles, designs, different color schemes, things like that. So I've always had that inspiration. And then when I was able to finally find my house, I'm looking at, okay, do I want, floor to ceiling windows? Do I want, certain size living room, game room? What do I want my outdoor space to look like in the backyard, things like that. So all of that inspiration right there really motivated me. And to have that opportunity this past off season, that was definitely fun.
Sounds like we need to do a little off-season feature and you do a little house tour or something.
You know what? I actually did that last year. We was going back home, and then we'll check. I think it was maybe, no, it wasn't 2020, but we had that time where we was all together on Zoom, and once we got finished, it'll be like, oh, so where you staying at, where you living at, and then I was able to show a few of the guys where I was staying at and looking at the interior, the outside and stuff, and they're like, yo, we need to come to your house during the off season, so it was cool.
That's great. So obviously it's Steelers week, so we're gonna take our first fan question here. This one comes from us to us on YouTube. Who do you look forward to playing against the most every year?
Of course, the Steelers. Sid's always said, man, you're never a Raven until you beat the Steelers. So anytime, any opportunity I get the chance to play the black and yellow is definitely an experience.
For sure. Is it, for you, is it different playing there versus here?
I think so. Just from a player's perspective, just their fans, their vibe, everything about it is just so electrifying. So when you're able to play there, it's fun, and then it's even better when you get a win out of there. So it's
I'll
cool.
never forget the first time we won when I was there. I get like chills just
Yeah.
thinking about it. And you see all the terrible towels go
You see
down.
them all go down. You see that song. I forgot the name of the song, but at the
Yeah.
end of the fourth quarter, they play it, and it's just going crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Oh, hopefully that's the case this
Yeah.
weekend. So 1 p.m. on CBS, guys. Don't forget. What is your favorite thing about being a Raven and just overall playing in a family organization? This one's from Lindsay Taylor on YouTube.
Like Lindsay said, just a family vibe. You got, the upstairs, the office, from even the cooks, the players, the coaches. Everyone is just so close and so knit together, and it's cool to be able to come to work each and every day and to feel comfortable, feel happy, come in smiling, knowing that you're playing for the organization like this. So anytime I had the opportunity to come in here, especially, with you guys that, make this so fun and so comfortable for me, it's enjoyable.
Yeah, totally. And we appreciate players
Yeah.
like you that do think this is
Yeah,
enjoyable.
Of course, man.
This one is Tiana on YouTube. Shout out to Tiana. What's your favorite memory of playing against the Steelers?
Oh, man, I would probably say it was my first game playing the Steelers. We played them, no, it was the second game we played them there. And I had my sack against Ben Roethlisberger. And that really just changed my life, because I was like, man, playing against this guy that I've watched for so long, who won a Super Bowl before, but just a Hall of Famer, a great player like that, and for me to take him down, that was definitely an experience that I'll never forget.
Is that your favorite sack of your career so far?
Man, I would probably say it is, because it was one of my first few. So just to be able to do that in that game, like I said, with Sis at that moment telling us that, and it's like, you got to have a win there, and you got to make plays. That's when you become a Raven. I took so much pride in that. So for me to do that and to see the reaction out of my teammates, especially a guy like Sis and other guys on the team, that was special.
What do you think, obviously Ben's not there anymore, and it's just kind of crazy because we are so used to playing against him that it's kind of this new generation of the Ravens-Steelers rivalry. What do you see kind of this new iteration?
Oh, man, I just see a lot of young, exciting talent that's coming about, between this rivalry, and just seeing the talent on each side and seeing how much faster, how much smoother, these players are and how great they are. It definitely makes you excited for what's to come in the near future, especially with this rivalry, because we take so much pride in it, both sides. I mean, you draft players to play in this game to beat each other. So to be a part of it, to just see where it's at and where it has been, it's definitely exciting.
This one is from Christopher on YouTube. So it's the holiday season. What's your favorite part this time of year? He wants to know.
I would just say probably the phase of Thanksgiving to Christmas to New Year's, just that entire, 2-3 month period of just so much going on, from Thanksgiving to being around family to Christmas, having that fun, that positive, good energy that always comes out of Christmas. And then, of course, going into the new year, having those New Year resolutions, thinking about and working on yourself to be a better person, come that next year. I just feel like that's an exciting part of the year where there's always good energy around.
And you're kind of turning over a new leaf as you
Yeah.
go into the new year. So obviously we play on Christmas Eve this year. How do you feel about holiday games? You like playing on Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving, or would you rather have that day?
I mean, just coming off the Thanksgiving, I definitely enjoyed not playing on Thanksgiving, because I can actually eat food, enjoy it,
Yeah.
and then also see other teams play as well. But I'd much rather not play on those days, because I just feel like they're special days that should be used to be around family and friends. So.
It's kind of nice. So we'll play on Christmas Eve, and then you'll probably have the next day as your off day. So it
Yeah.
works out that it falls on Christmas. This year.
Exactly.
That's awesome. This one is from Adam on Facebook. He wants to know your favorite hobby other than football.
Favorite hobby? I'm a big sports guy, so one of the things that I enjoy doing, if you haven't seen, on my Instagram, Tyus23, I enjoy going to basketball games, football games, been to a ton of baseball games as well, been to a hockey playoff match before, just anytime, any opportunity I can go and, kind of be a spectator instead of the guy on the field and, watch the game and just see how much talent is out there. It's definitely fun. So that's one of the main things that I like to do on my days off.
I feel like any off day, I'm like, oh, Tyus is at a Wizards game.
Yeah.
We're always at this.
Yeah.
So you're always making the most of it. Do you ever like kind of notice things at those games that you like don't think about when you're at ours?
Oh, man. What do you mean?
Like, I feel like there's so much that goes into game entertainment, especially for us, that you
Mm-hmm.
guys probably aren't even aware of because you're
Yeah.
so locked in on the game. But when I go to other sporting events, I'm like, oh, like I actually listen to the anthem and their halftime performances, all those kinds of things.
I would say that because I just came from a Maryland game and just the different type of games that they had during halftime and the different things that they do with the student body, with the flag and stuff. I know that's something that they probably do every time, but for my first game going, I thought that was super crazy just to see that, and even just going to Wizards games, just seeing the vibe, different music, different things that they have for the fans to stay involved. I thought that was definitely a cool experience that I probably don't never notice outside of the little football toss that we do at our games. I think that's exciting. I actually pay attention to that.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you guys are like kind of getting hype on those on the
I
sideline.
be trying to spectate like, okay, and I see the first time, I'm like, okay, they probably got it. And then in some way you might get surprised and somebody end up winning that you don't think wins. So it's cool.
I love that. That's great. This one is from Manuel on YouTube. He wants to know what your favorite victory snack is.
Victory snack. I'm a big pizza guy.
Pizza.
So pretty much during the off day or probably on a Friday, I just go and get a pizza from Costco or Pizza Hut somewhere to just kind of enjoy it, because I don't really try to eat out too much. I try to eat healthy, but the one time, especially after a victory, I definitely go and grab me a pizza.
That's fair. You can indulge a little bit. I love this comment. This comes from Ashley on Facebook, and she says, I got to play catch with you before the Bills game this season. What made you start that tradition of throwing the ball around with fans in the crowd before the games?
I just feel like for me, as a player, you think about these fans who dedicate themselves to being there so early or just being at the game to support us. And I remember being one of those guys in the stadium looking at these guys on the field, and it's like, man, like I want to be there one day, or I want to be able to be close or be involved in some type of way. And just the reaction of the fans whenever I'm just walking around and just looking for somebody, and they just wave their hand and I throw it to them, they like, he really just threw me the ball, So I just want to, create that fan experience for these guys and, even just develop relationships with them, just being able to, see the replies on Twitter, Facebook, anything like that, to where it's like, man, you made my day, or you made my child feel special, and now he can go to school and feel big because he was able to throw the ball to you, things like that. That's what it's all about. So I enjoy doing it.
Absolutely. I love that. I'll take one last question here for you because I know this was a hot topic in the locker room this week. This one's from Adam, but we've seen it everywhere all week long. 100 humans versus one gorilla. Who wins?
I think I've seen this with Marlon.
Uh-huh.
I'm taking 100 humans, but honestly, it just depends on the humans, but I'm going to go with the humans.
Like, can we pick our humans, or because 100 people?
There's so much that you can ask about this question, There's always different things, but I'm gonna definitely go with the humans because we're creatures that know how to handle stuff. Especially 100, you tell me you can't handle.
But someone told me today that a gorilla can punch worth like 3,000 pounds of power. No.
100? You know how much is 100 people? He ain't just gonna go winding out, sweeping everybody out.
Whatever you say.
I'm gonna go with 100 people.
All right. Anything you want to share with the fans here before we sign off?
Much love. Definitely great to be back out there on the field, especially what I went through. And, looking forward to getting a win this week against the Steelers. And hope to see you there. If not, make sure you tune in.
Absolutely. Hopefully you're enjoying that victory pizza Sunday
Absolutely.
night. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back again with you next week.